Alright, welcome back. Today I want to talk about electric current. So current is the rate of net flow of charge, and the expression for it is the lowercase I is equal to dq dt. This is just the rate of change of charge. So current is in units of amps, charge is in coulombs, and time is in seconds. So if we have a conducting material, say it's like a chunk of wire or something, and there's a bunch of electrons in here, and we take a cross-section of this conducting material, then the net flow of electrons across that cross-section is going to be zero when it's not connected to a source, that being a voltage or a current source, because all of the random movement of the electrons are just going to cancel each other out. But if we hook up a voltage or a current source to this conducting material, then we're going to get a net flow of electrons in a certain direction. Now, the charge that's carried by electrons is negative. It's equal to negative 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19 coulombs per electron. So if we have a situation where we have, let's say, 9.75 times 10 to the 16 electrons going to the left across our cross-section, and we have 3.5 times 10 to the 16 going to the right, then we're going to have a net flow of 6.25 times 10 to the 16 electrons to the left across the cross-section. So if we actually specify a time region for that, let's say that this happened over a period of 5 seconds, then we can calculate what the current would be. We have I is equal to dq dt. And the total charge crossing the cross-section is the 6.25 times 10 to the 16 times the charge of each of those electrons, which is negative 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19 coulombs, and that's all divided by 5 seconds. So that simplifies to current is just equal to negative 0.01 coulombs per 5 seconds, which we can reduce to negative 0.002 coulombs per second. Now coulombs per second is equal to amps, so that's negative 0.002 amps, and we can also rewrite that as just negative 2 milliamps. So we can express the current as being equal to negative 2 milliamps going to the left, or we can also express it as positive 2 milliamps going to the right by simply just multiplying by -1 and switching the direction like your typical vector expressions. So because the electrons are moving this negative charge, we're generally going to consider positive current to be in the opposite direction of electron movement. And when we are considering positive current to be the opposite from the direction of electron movement, we refer to this as conventional flow. If you were considering positive current to be in the direction of electron movement, that's referred to as electron flow, but that's like an outdated way to do it. So I'll always be considering the positive current direction to be opposite from the electron movement. You'll see as we go, it doesn't really matter. It seems a little confusing when you first hear about it, but just try not to overthink it too much. Just positive current is going to be going in the opposite direction of electron movement. So for example, if we had, let's say, a resistor connecting 2 points A and B, and someone has labeled on that the current is going to the right, then the way that we say this is that the current is flowing from A to B, or we could say that IAB is just equal to the negative of IBA. Very similar to vector addition in any other discipline of engineering. Now sometimes you won't even need to consider the circuit diagram at all. For the very simple example, like you're giving two appliances and you know their power consumption and voltage and you're asked to find the current, then we can use a formula that we'll discuss later, but it's just power is equal to the voltage times the current, and where we could rearrange that to have the current is equal to the power divided by the voltage. And we could do this really quick calculation to see that the dryer has a current of 45.5 amps and the television has a current of 2.3 amps. But yeah, the one last thing I just wanted to introduce about current in this video is that there's two different kinds of electricity we're talking about. We have DC and AC. So we'll get into both of them eventually, but just know that they operate a little bit differently. DC is the type of electricity that we're getting from like batteries or solar panels, and AC is what's generated by like rotating machinery like hydroelectric dams or coal power plants, that sort of thing. The AC power that I have drawn here is sinusoidal, and basically like a common frequency that you would experience in a household application would be 50 or 60 hertz, with hertz just being cycles per second. But the next several videos, maybe 20 or 30, will all be focused on DC, so we don't have to worry about this stuff just yet. But either one we're talking about, the expression for current is the same. It's I is equal to dq dt. Now we can rearrange this a little bit by multiplying dt to both sides, so we have dq is equal to I dt. And then if we integrate both sides, we'll basically be left with just q is equal to the time integral from T1 to T2 of the current, which is a function of time, dt. And so basically that means we're going to be looking for the area under these curves. And as you can see, DC is generally going to be a lot easier for us to work with, as these are always going to be rectangular areas, whereas AC is going to bring up problems of, integrating trig functions and eventually using some complex numbers and things like that. But for the next several videos, we're going to be focusing just on DC, so it should be a lot more simple for the introduction to electric circuits. And yeah, I think that's enough to talk about current in this video, and I will see you in the next video, and I'll go over just what voltage is.